There was a request for a room tour, a tour of my collection. So that's what this is going to be. A state of the collection as it exists now. So we're going to walk around my tiny apartment and look at all of the audio equipment and audio related stuff and maybe other random stuff that I have. So it's kind of an off-the-cuff video, just like all of them. So you'll have to excuse a little bit of mess. I'm not the perfect pinnacle of tidiness, but I think it's acceptable. So first off, this is my main setup. This is where I do most of my critical listening and review, and where I do most of my videos. So it's not audio related directly, but that's my computer. That's where I do most of my listening through. Windows 10, Ryzen 7, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's a good computer, also very strong for gaming. This set, which I have one of the grills off for this one, that's a Dayton Audio. I believe the model number is 652 Air, which is a 6.5-inch two-way with an air motion transformer, which is very good to have for, I think it's like 56, maybe $60. So very cheap, not ported, sealed. So low end gets decently low because it has a 6.5-inch, but not super low. The tweeter is definitely the pinnacle of that. It'll get a review. It's not the point of this, but that's the only speakers I actually have hooked up to my machine other than the in-monitor ones, which suck. The speakers, or headphones I have, let's kind of lower that down. I have a couple back here. So these are the first real headphones I ever had. Like this exact pair is a pair of Sony MDR 10RBTs, which I got as a gift when I went to college. These are not good by my modern standards of how headphones should be, but they have a very special place in my heart as the first decent, not like Dollar Tree headphones I ever had. And I will never get rid of these unless they absolutely die. And I have repaired them several times, and I put on brand new pads because the old pads fell apart, and those are some brainwaves. I love them. I don't use them pretty much ever, but I have them. I have a second pair of 10RBTs just in case those ever break. This is my headphone stand, which is the only one of its kind in the world because I designed and printed this. So, you know, it's kind of cool that I made that. It's not particularly great. Koss KPH30Is, as you all know, are basically the best headphones ever made. So, I don't really need to go into that too much. Mono price retros with the stupidly long cable. I have a second pair of those that are broken that I am going to salvage the drivers out of at some point because the drivers are fine, and probably make a set of headphones out of. And so I also have another pair of KPH 30Is that I'm salvaging the drivers out of and currently making a set of headphones out of. These are some crappy little buds that came, that came with my Samsung phone. They're made by AKG, or tuned by them at least. They exist. That's about all I got for them. Porta Pros, obviously, are always great. They've been great for 40 years or something. I don't remember the model of these. These are a pair of Koss something or others that are like $6. And these will get a video too. This was the how low can I go with Koss before they suck? Apparently $6 is too low, so they suck. That's a sneak preview. Those are the worst things I've ever heard in my life. KSC 75s live up here. They don't get enough play really, which is kind of sad. They've had a review. Super portable. I love KSC 75s. $15 too. So like the cheapest you can go with, I think, in the world and get good audio. So that's always a plus. The Wavesy, yeah, my most recent video, they are not good. They're there. I'm probably gonna just throw them away or Goodwill them, something like that. That's a blue sound, or just not blue sound. That's a totally different company. Blue microphone, just a snowball. I use that whenever I'm on Discord or something. It's a fine mic. I'm not a big mic person. I'm not big into recording myself. Down here, this is what I power my speakers with, which is a Dayton, some stupid model number. It's just a little Class D 30 watts a channel stereo amp. It does have, I mean, it only has like an input there and an input there. And then it does have a headphone out. It's not a good headphone out. Don't use it for a headphone out, but it's there. Down here is my Grace S-DAC Balanced, which is a good DAC. And then my THX AAA 789, which is my reference for all my headphones nowadays. This is a lot of amp for $300. I think they're $300 now. There's some other ones that are contending these days now that I've heard. The Modius, some stuff from SMSL and stuff like that. But man, this was the benchmark. This is what started that, like, holy crap, you can have amazing headphone amps for a couple $100. THX circuit is amazing. That's a Valve Index. It has audio in it. It's fine for games. It's not. I don't listen to music in it. These are new clear acrylic headphone stands for as the collection grows, which hasn't grown in a while actually, because I've been more responsible. The keen of you will notice that there is an empty spot here. A pair of Monolith M560s used to live there, but they sadly completely died. The right channel completely and utterly died. I tried to fix it several times, but it got to the point where even fully stripped off, because it originally was like the wires were just not connected anymore to the input, but completely stripped off, like signal directly to the pads, unsoldered, wouldn't put any volume through the driver, so it's completely dead. But I am salvaging the body. I'm putting the KPH30i drivers into it. It's an ongoing project. It's somewhere around here, and I think will actually be a pretty cool little way to save them, because that body is too nice of a body to just throw away. And KPH30i drivers are amazing that you can get for $30 because you can just buy a pair of KPH30i. So I'm gonna make that my own little set. One more triple driver over here. First headphone I ever bought that was meant to be an audio headphone that I bought for myself, not the gift I got. And those are still one of the best headphones I've ever heard. Their little brother, the in-ear. I love those as far as in-ears go. I'm not a big in-ear person though, so I have them, and I think they're gorgeous. And they come in amazing packaging, but I don't listen to them that much. Tin T2s, I have not reviewed them yet. I have a set, like everyone in the world has a set of Tin T2s. And I'm going to be super controversial here because I'm probably about the only person in the world who doesn't like Tin T2s. I know. Everyone who's watching this just unsubscribed. I might have a bad set. I may have a bad set, but mine are very tinny, and there is some ringing that happens. They have sibilance, and it's very noticeable. And these are the only, I am not sensitive to it. These are the only things I've ever listened to that I actually heard like terrible sibilance. So I'm sorry. I think they're good other than that, but I just can't get past that, so I barely ever use those. Ship 9500s because ship 9500s, which I had to buy back in the you could only get these on AliExpress days, which is super sketch, but you know, now you can buy them on Amazon again, I think, so that's cool. But I have a pair. I haven't listened to them in a while, but those are some of the best value headphones you can get. MDR1As are amazing and smooth. My, I believe that's the WMX2 or WM2000X, it's a super long name. Basically, the Sony equivalent of the Bose Quiet Comforts. I love those. I like them more than the Quiet Comforts. I have tried both. I think these just have better drivers in them and have better DSD to them because the DSD really saves those. And they have very, very good active noise canceling, very comfortable. The pads are amazing. Of course, my Ethers, which are the best headphones I have, and the most expensive. I love them. They are great. I use them for everything. I use them for games. I use them for critical listening. They're just amazing headphones. They're heavy, but they're very comfortable, super well built. Like, oh, they're so good. So that's I think that's all the audio stuff I have in this room. So then, excuse some of the mess that you'll see in the kitchen. Here, I have my stereo set up and video game setup. And it's, again, a little messy. I apologize. Start with this. ATH Audio Technica ATLP120X USB. Super long name, rolls right off the tongue. This is a good starter table. I will upgrade this eventually someday, but I'm probably not going to upgrade until I'm ready to buy like a VPI. This table can grow with you. It has all the stuff you need pretty much except for height adjust. It's a direct drive, but I'm fine with direct drive with a quartz lock. I've upgraded the stylus to a Shibata. I gave it a new leather pad. I added on a weight. I am using the internal phono preamp. I put it on this preamp over here. I didn't like it as much, so. But that's a good table. A very, very good table. It's not the best feeling. It's a little light, and the buttons, no, those are okay. But like this one's wobbly. This one's very wobbly. So I'm just, it's a good table for starting, but it's a little flimsy. Down here, 5X Jubilees Sennheiser that live out here as my hi-fi listening headphones. They just kind of became the hi-fi listening headphones. The intention was I would rotate headphones, but that's never happened. I don't know, there's something about these on this amp that they're just so warm and open. Well, they're fairly open. They're more open than most of my headphones. So I don't know, I just like the sound of these. They feel more warm and natural than most of my other headphones do, except for my MDR 1As, but I don't know, I've never felt like bringing the 1As out here. This is my old reference, an old shit stack, Modi 3, Magni 3, DAC and amp. The amp is still hooked up. This I still use if and when I want to bring out another set of headphones that are not high resistance. But the DAC is literally not hooked up right now at all, which is kind of tragic because it's a great DAC, but I don't run a power conditioner right now because I'm cheap and I don't think it's that important compared to other things. Dark Voice is what I use mostly, which is that's an amp. Like I mean, look at it. That's a substantial amp and it has tubes. So that's what I use for analog reference. This is just an old phone that I use to stream. I can remote into it with my other phone and I can just stream, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, whatever I want to use. And I have a bunch of music on Fubar on there, so I can just stream that out. This is the star of the show, pretty much, the Marantz integrated PM6006, which is kind of a one-stop shop amp if you really want it, because it's an integrated, so it has, inputs and outputs for both, like a line out as well as actual speaker out, several inputs, including its own DAC, tone control, loudness control, the headphone out's not very good, but it has it if you really want it. I don't use it at all. But yeah, this one basically can do anything you want. It doesn't have a USB input. The DAC is not amazing, but it does have a DAC, so you can use it. Vanatu transparent zeros are my main speaker they were my main speaker for a long time that I used as my only speaker. Now they're just for my TV. I use them for the TV now. And then that I use for listening. My Totem Acoustics Dream Catchers, which are stupidly good for their size. Like, those are tiny, tiny little speakers, little 4-inch woofers, and yet they're really, really, really good. So I love those things. Those are my nicest speakers I have. I think they're about $600, so. Whoop. Moving on. This piano, because I play piano. And you can probably see a little bit of my kitchen mess behind me, sorry. This is an ongoing project that I have that I made my own set of speakers. MDF, maple. They're using a 5-inch aluminum cone woofer and a little silk dome tweeter. So that will be done at some point. The crossovers are actually over there, and that by that mirror that I'm not going to go over to. But they finished their testing phase for me. I've got the crossovers to a point that I'm happy with. I like the crossovers on this. I think they sound good now. And now I've taken them back apart because I'm going to finish them up. I need to take out the stuffing and unbuild them and then finish off the final sanding and apply the veneer and the stain and close them back up again. So that's the thing. So I might do a video when I'm done with these, like fully done with them, talking about them, but not, I don't want to do like update videos the whole time. Anyhow, so that's the state of my collection. Other than like the actual music I have, there's a bunch of vinyl and CDs and stuff down there, but that's pretty much what I have currently. I have listened to other stuff, I've had other stuff, but this is what is in my collection now. I'll do another update someday in the future, whenever the collection has substantially changed. So thank you all for watching, and have a good day.